I'm told I've got about 55 seconds to grab your attention by telling you which problems Arena Success Group can solve. So here goes. We help frustrated leaders and organizations work less, accomplish more, and live much better. We found many leaders and organizations work so hard and so long, yet they are so frustrated by decreasing profit margins, increasing talent turnover, and a never ending to do list. At Arena Success Group, we believe there are just 5 keys to going from surviving to thriving. And our innovative systems and guidance will help you reclaim your time, focus, and energy. And we routinely boost profit margins 20%, decrease turnover 25%, and improve lives 100%. Now, that all sounds bold, and it is, but that's not a good reason to work with Arena Success Group. So 18 years ago, my life and my business was exactly what I just got done describing. And I was so demoralized, tired, hopeless, and confused. Well, now life isn't like that at all, and business isn't like that at all. And it doesn't have to be for you and your team either. So how does Arena Success Group help make that happen? Well, it's a simple plan. First, I know you're all too busy to actually think, plan, and lead anywhere near as well as you want to. So we have a simple system that is going to gain everybody who participates between 4 and 9 hours a week. That's between 200 and 450 hours a year for each person. Second thing we do is we don't let you squander that by just taking that time to put out more fires and solve other people's problems. No, we help you refocus and clarify what you're about, what's important, what needs tracked, and what doesn't. Matter of fact, we hope to get it on the front and back of a single sheet of paper. Third, we use a simple but effective system we call Workmaster, and it really just lets you track effectively what is important, and it makes sure what needs to get done gets done. Of course, there's much more if you want it, but routinely, this will get rid of the demoralizing frustration from decreasing profit margins, increasing employee turnover, and just give people a better life. So that's how we do things, and it works, but that's not really the reason you maybe should work with Arena Success Group either. So why should you work with Arena Success Group? Well, I've told you what we can do: lowering employee turnover 25%, increasing profit margins 20%, increasing your morale, decreasing your frustration. And I've told you how we do it with giving you the big picture. But what I haven't told you is why. And if you don't know why, and that why doesn't motivate you, then we really shouldn't go on any type of adventure together. So I'd like to tell you a story. Now, this goes back in time to February of 2003, and it's the real birthday of Arena Success Group. So by most standards, my life was going very well. I just paid cash for a brand new van. I was living in a new house I and my wife had built. I was a partner in a small but decent business. I had 3 healthy children between the ages of 2 and 12. I was married to a drop-dead gorgeous blonde. And I loved God, loved my country. But there I was, all day. I was sitting in that brand new van in a vacant, empty parking lot for a state park. Miserable as miserable could be. Now, the end of the day came, and I went home. All day everybody at work thought I was out trying to sell something. My wife thought I was at work, and I was none of those places. I was just miserable. But I went home. Tried to make things just as normal as possible. Then when everybody else went to bed, I sat in the dark. And I thought, my wife deserves a better husband than this. My children deserve a better father than this. My partners deserve a better partner and a better business than this. My employees deserve better jobs than this. I determined to discover what made life better, and it was my passion. Now, 18 years later, I routinely tell people that I don't think there's a single person in the entire world who's had a better life than me, and that includes my downtimes. So then you've got to ask, what did I learn in those 18 years that made such a difference? I learned the life of a person, the life of a business or an organization are very similar. Organizations are just groups of people. And so those 5 key things that are the difference between surviving and thriving, they're the same for a person or an organization. And if you get the people right and you help the person's life be more fulfilling, it makes the organization more successful and considerably more profitable. I learned that life is never going to be a walk in the park, so don't go on a walk, go on an adventure. And then you got to ask, what the heck's an adventure? First of all, an adventure's out there. It's not in here with our comforts going nowhere. Adventures are not always safe. You got to take chances. Adventures are not always avoiding the storms. Sometimes, most of the time, it's about learning to dance in the rain. When you're on an adventure, you're always moving and always being moved. You're with people who matter, doing things that matter, and you've got a purpose. That's an adventure. Another thing I learned in those 18 years is if you lead an organization or people and those people work for you 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, not only do you have perhaps the greatest opportunity to make their lives better, but you have a moral obligation to do so. And I learned that when you try to do that, those people, they'll be more effective, they'll make your organization so much better, and you will be on a very fulfilling and profitable adventure. And I learned one more thing in those last 18 years. Most of you won't think it's possible. No. Or if it is possible, it's not worth the effort. Now, most of you will think that because we all have this little guy on our shoulder. Now, this guy is not an angel, and I don't think he's the devil. At least he doesn't look like him. He's pale, he's skinny. He just sits there because he never gets outside and actually does anything. Doesn't usually frown, doesn't usually smile. He just whispers to you. That voice, I call him the critic. And he tells you the things you could have done better. He reminds you of your failures and your disappointments, and he assures you there's a lot more of that to come. Well, Teddy Roosevelt in 1910, he addressed the critic. It is not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. No, the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly and errs and comes short again and again, for there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, and who, in the end, if he succeeds, knows the triumph of high achievement. But if he fails, he at least fails while daring greatly, and his soul shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. It comes down to this. You and your organization, your teammates, you were never meant to spend your days chaotically trying to put out fires and solve other people's problems. You're not supposed to work to exhaustion on an endless task list, but it doesn't seem to really make a difference. Maybe you're not even sure what making a difference is. And that's just wrong. Your organization and every person who works for you, you were intended to passionately live a fulfilling adventure. So, if you're ready to get off that treadmill and trade in your running shoes for a set of hiking boots, maybe that's why you should work with Arena Success Group. Because, as I said before, and I'll say again, life is never going to be a walk in the park. So don't go on a walk. Go on an adventure.